Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Ken Lavigne, singer and vocal coach here on YouTube. And today we are going to be looking at Dan VASC and his version of Scarborough Fair. And this comes to us by way of suggestion from one of our dear viewers, one of our dear subscribers to the channel, Susan Southard, or at Susan Southard as her YouTube handle goes. I'm just going to read off what she says. Thanks, since you are a vocal coach, I think that you would appreciate this song from Dan VASC, Scarborough Fair. He does a three-part harmony that is so beautiful, and Susan leaves a link. Thank you very much, Susan, as well as a little gift. Thank you so much. If you want to get my attention, cut through all the noise, be sure to think about leaving a super chat. Much appreciated, and your support, Susan, is very much appreciated. So we are going to take a look at Dan VASC. You know what? This is perfect for this channel. Dan VASC is, I think, a fabulous vocalist, and he does some interesting things with his voice. Most of the stuff that I've reacted to with Mr. VASC are his metal covers. So let us take a look at this one, which I don't know if this is a metal cover or not. I don't think so. Scarborough Fair, classic song, folk song.
Are you going to Scarborough Fair?
Sorry, I shouldn't apologize for stopping, but it's just something that I noticed right off the top, how beautifully he ends that phrase. Lovely little vibrato. And there's a moment where he starts off, nice glottal attack, and then going. Now, it's really hard to avoid the nasality of those consonants going. It is unfortunate that is just what happens. It's tremendously difficult for a vocalist to avoid nasality altogether, but you want to make sure that the positionality of the placement of your voice is as consistent as possible. I like Dan's voice. I think he's got a beautiful instrument, and let's just see what else he does here.
Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme.
Slight airiness in that part of his voice. When he goes up, there's a change in the tone quality, and not that it's bad. It's really, like I said, it's really very difficult to maintain a consistent tone all the way out throughout your voice. And with Dan, what I've experienced from him before is that he's just got this monster instrument, and in a song that is as sensitive as this, scaling things back and being really just narrow in your approach, not necessarily energizing everything. It can be very difficult, especially for bigger voices like what Dan has.
Tell her to make me a cabaret shirt, deep forest green, parsley, sage, rosemary, and tracing of sparkle in snow-crested brow, without no seams, no needs, and beckons the child of the fountain. She'll be a true lover's mountain, aware of the clarion call. Tell her to find me an acre of land, sprinkling of leaves.
No metal yet, but I'm thinking this is just a beautiful rendition, as Susan had suggested, that it's just a beautiful song, and he sings it very beautifully. And he does, very reminiscent of the Simon and Garfunkel version, with the multiple guitars, all this layering, and then all of this sort of call, echo, response thing happening with the two voices, the two Dans, on the left and the right, and then the center Dan weaving in and out. I don't know necessarily enough about the Simon and Garfunkel version of this particular folk song, which I don't believe originated with them. I know this is a much older song than Simon and Garfunkel. They've been around for a while. But they had their own version, which I think they might have taken some crib notes off of another folk artist, or maybe Paul Simon did. If you know this particular little tidbit of history, no, I can't think of it off the mind, but I do remember or recall reading something about this back in the day. If you remember who that folk artist was that this particular version was based on, please leave that down in the comments below.
Parsley, sage, rosemary, and touches the brave silvery tale between the salt water and the stew streams and polishes again. She'll be a true love of mine. Tell her to rip it with a sickle of leather.
It takes a lot of practice to nail those unisons like that, as he's done right here, both in the recording session, and then I imagine that this video has been stitched together, obviously after the fact of recording the audio. But even just doing that in the audio, it can take several passes before you can match your own voice. It's an odd sensation. And as a recording artist, and would say that it sometimes, if you can nail it first time, it feels like a bit of a miracle, and you're like, surely that not. I need to do this again just to make sure.
With a sickle of leather, scarlet, parsley, sage, rosemary, and
as he's going up through past his passaggio into a more covered tone. Again, you can hear the difference in the tone between his low voice, which is really warm and inviting and rich and resonant. And then as he moves up, I think his voice is quite used to, because of all of that metalwork covering and slendering the tone so that you're not carrying up too much weight. Tenors, if this is a problem for you, please consult a vocal coach. They can help you to shed the weight of the voice while matching the tone quality as you go up through your voice or up through your passaggio. It's important. It's something you need to learn how to do. Dan VASC is, I don't know if he's self-taught or whether he has had many sessions with a vocal coach or a voice teacher, or if he's part opera singer or just all metal, I don't know. There's a sense of rawness about his singing, about like he's just intuitive. That's how he feels his way through the music that I really enjoy. Very often you can paint yourself into a corner and wonder, am I doing this the most efficient way possible? Which is when you want to maybe reach out and consult someone who's spent their life dedicating themselves to the craft of singing and imparting that knowledge to other singers.
and gather it all on a bunch of covers. Long ago forgotten, she'll be a true love of mine.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like that.
Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme.
Just listening to these harmonies and how well matched they are rhythmically is beautiful. Well done, Dan. This is so good. Really is beautiful.
Remember me to one who lives there. She once was a true love of mine.
Interesting too. Do you notice mine and then the slight vibrato? It seemed to me as I was listening, was it just one voice that was doing that vibrato or both voices synced up in the vibrato? Again, very difficult to do that in the recording studio. And after multiple tries of trying something like that myself, I just like, okay, I hope the studio engineers knows what to do with what I've just done. Hey
Well, my friends, this is something unusual for my channel. I know it doesn't look like...
Oh, Dan VASC is approaching me. He's got a 30-second little infomercial there for him. And you know what? If you want to support Dan VASC, which I strongly recommend you do, if you like this kind of music, if you like Dan VASC, go and show him some love. And you can do that easily enough by just subscribing to his channel. But hey, you know what else you could do in the process while you're doing that, or maybe before perhaps? You could subscribe to this channel. If you're not yet a member of this fantastic community of vocal aficionados and music lovers, what are you waiting for? Join Susan and many others who have decided to join this channel and share their love of music. And also too, if you have a comment to add to this, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you're thinking. What do you think of these sorts of faithful reboots and cover versions of classic songs? Do they bring something new? Is it something that you enjoy? Would you like to hear a little bit more of the metal Dan VASC than the classical singer? I'm always interested to know what you have to say about this. And also too, I will be sure to leave links to Dan VASC and his channel down below in the description, as well as if you have a favorite song that you would love for me to give my 2 cents on, there's a way that you can do that. You can certainly reach out to me via YouTube. You can also send a donation to the channel. All of that is very much appreciated. So thank you so much. If you've taken time out of your busy day to spend a few of those precious moments here with me, love and appreciation to you all. And we will see you next time.